I don't even know why I'm doing this. I really don't. Because we're not going to sign anyone in these last 30 minutes of deadline day. We're not. We're simply not. Um, Rubbish. Rubbish. How can this team compete for top four? Can I ask? Can I ask how this team is supposed to compete in a league where all of the top four contenders, excluding you, have reinforced way more than you? I don't get us. Sometimes I really don't understand us. And I don't want to. I've raged so much on my friend's chat today that I don't even want to rage, because we always get hyped up every single summer and then we always end up in these positions. We had one fucking job since June. We had one fucking priority in June, and that was to get a left winger. And we managed, I don't even want to say this, we managed to end the transfer session without having bought a left winger. If that isn't comedy, I don't know what is. We had one fucking priority signing to do this summer, and everybody agreed on this. It's a signing that Gasperini asked the day he came. I need somebody in that position. I need somebody in that position. I need somebody in that position. And you managed to not get a left winger. It doesn't get funnier than that. It simply doesn't get funnier than that. I can't believe we got 0 signings completed on deadline day. I cannot believe we got 0 signings completed on deadline day. I had so much expectations going into today that at a certain stage this morning when I was eating my cereal, I thought we were going to complete 3 signings. Looking back at that, it's like, what the hell did Masada do today? I'd be very curious to know. I would be very curious to know what was his day like today. Because not completing one signing on deadline day is embarrassing. Not that we didn't need any signings. Some decisions baffle me. They really do. They've been baffling me since 20 years. I turn 20 next week. I turn 20 in 1 week from today, 8th of September, and every single summer I get fooled in the fact that it's going to be the summer of the revolution where we start getting signings done. And I always fall in the trap of believing in this and then genuinely getting upset, because I'm sorry, but of course you guys are entitled to your own opinion. But if you think this team has improved in any way, if you think this team is supposed to get top 4, good luck. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't get top 4, but the only thing that I would fix here is, let's stop saying at the start of the season, let's stop saying that our objective is top 4, and let's stop saying that if we don't get top 4, it's a failure. Let's stop doing that. Because if we stop doing that, then I can tolerate such a transfer session. Because you're not setting high expectations. If you go in June, in Gasperini's press conference with Ranieri next to him, I remember that press conference, and I'm not blaming anyone, but in that press conference, what was being told to us is that the objective this season is to get top 4. That's what they told us. Now, again, we can get top 4. I can look like a complete idiot, and I will accept to look like a complete idiot if we do get top 4. If we get top 4 at the end of the season, I will do the biggest mea culpa that the YouTube community has ever seen. I promise. I promise you. I put my hand on my heart that if at the end of the season we get top 4, also based on the January transfer session, of course, but if we do get top 4, I'll do a mea culpa. But I also feel like maybe it's also fair to switch things around and go, maybe let's not say that our objective is top 4 so that we can stop overhyping ourselves during the summer. Because frankly speaking, as I said before, we had one priority this summer. One priority signing that Gasperini asked since day one. and that was a starting left winger, somebody who plays in that Lookman position, and you managed to end it without having put anyone there. If Gasperini's happy about that, good, but I don't think he is happy about that. I think he'll be rage baiting tonight. And I don't think Gasperini is massively proud about this transfer session, and you can't blame him. You can't blame him. Look, I think it is true that Ranieri last season so many times repeated to us that this transfer session was going to be a very complicated one because we had the FFP limitations and everything. He told us that about 30 times. And I respect that because it's being honest. And it is complicated. This transfer session ended up being complicated. But that's not an excuse. I'm sorry, but that is not an excuse. Because there were teams who were worse than Roma in the Serie A who managed to have a better transfer session than you. And the other thing here is the FFP limitations can be an excuse as much as you want. It's true. They told us that it was going to be a complicated one. And, you know, I fair play to them. It is true that they told us this. But then why the hell were we about to sign Sancho? Why the hell were we ready to appoint Sancho? And if he said yes, we would have completed the signing. Why were we very close in signing Tyreek George? The problem here is it's one. You spent too much time looking like an obsessive cunt chasing Sancho and Tyreek George. That's the problem here. Because if the only thing that was missing in the Sancho deal was him to say yes, then it clearly means that you had the money to pay his wages and to make the deal happen. So you see where the hypocrisy comes in here. I accept the fact that you told me that this transfer session was gonna be complicated. You were honest. I respect that. I'd rather you be honest, but kind of lower the expectations and lower the bar than you saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna sign anyone," and then not signing nobody. Honesty, first of all, yes. But the fact that this summer transfer session had to be a complicated one is not an excuse for the fact that we didn't get a left winger. Because Sancho was going to come if you said yes, which means that you had the money to get a left winger. And I'm sorry, but not having bought a left winger is ridiculous. Is absolutely ridiculous. It is. I'm sorry, but it is. Now we need to hope in Pellegrini's redemption arc. That's what we effectively need to do, which I wish him all the best. But we need to rely on a player who has been publicly discharged by his own club to have a redemption arc and start and be in that left winger position that we needed. That's effectively what we need to do. Hope in a player that has been publicly thrown away by its own club, because it was told to us publicly that the club's objective with Pellegrini is to sell him. They didn't manage to sell him, so now we need to depend on him. I'm telling you this now. I'm saying this now. The 1st of September. If in January you don't get a good left winger, you might as well just sack yourself. The fact that we didn't get a left winger now, I'm expecting a top left winger in January. Will I look delusional? Yes, but that's the truth. And that's how it needs to be. Because if you don't at least try and hire the bar for that left wing signing in January, you might as well just leave. Yeah, I think the problem, what I will criticize the most, is the timings. The timings in this transfer session have been ridiculous. 3 weeks behind Sancho is utter nonsense. The first thing you ask a player in a negotiation is if he wants to join. That's the first thing you ask. If he said no, why did he keep on insisting? Waste 3 weeks like that. So we wasted 3 weeks on Sancho. We wasted 2 weeks on Rios for the same reason, trying to convince him, and then he didn't end up want to join. And then we wasted other 2 weeks trying to chase Chelsea for a player that played probably a total of 10 minutes in the Premier League. They were never going to lower the bar because Chelsea is more powerful than us, and Chelsea would have always dictated that move for us. So look, you can be happy about this. I'm not saying you can't. You can be happy, and I think we completed some good signings. But if you ask me today, of course, we've got the January transfer session to improve things. But if you ask me today, do you think this team is capable of competing for top 4? The answer is no. The answer can't be yes. Especially because El Enawi will be out for almost 2 months for AFCON. So will Ndika. The squad depth isn't good enough. You had the chance to get some signings done. I wasn't expecting Lamine Yamal. I wasn't expecting Vini Jr. I wasn't expecting Haaland up front. I was not expecting those names. I was expecting some squad depth replacements, and I didn't get that. So the answer to the question, can this team compete for top 4? Yes, it can. Will this team get top 4? My answer is no. Call me pessimistic. I'm trying to be real. And I'm sorry, look at what Juventus did in the last 24 hours. Signed Openda, signed Zagrova. Already in 24 hours, Juventus have a better team than you. Inter have on paper a better team than you. So do Napoli. You can pull the fight against Milan. But it's a very, very, very tight fight. And if you don't get top 4, I don't want to hear no crying. If we don't get top 4 at the end of the season, I don't want to hear, another wasted season of not having gotten top 4. Because it's not fair to say that after the transfer session like this. Especially if you compare this team and this squad depth to the likes of Inter, Juventus, Napoli, and potentially also Milan. You can't. So, fine, but let's not say that the objective is top 4. Let's not say that the objective is top 4 because that is utter woke nonsense. And I say this again, if we do get top 4 at the end of the season, I will do a naked mea culpa in front of you. Not that you don't necessarily want to see that, but just to tell you how I will look like an idiot, and I will accept to look like an idiot. And deep down in the end of this, you didn't even manage to complete the Jimenez Dovbyk signing. So now, adding on to the fact that you didn't buy another midfielder. So El Enawi leaves for AFCON for 2 months, because I expect Morocco to go far in that. In the middle, you will only have Pisilli, Cristante, Kone. Adding on to that, you didn't get a left winger. And adding on to that, you didn't even manage to complete the Jimenez Dovbyk signing, which I would have done blindfolded, because I think Jimenez is better than Dovbyk, more agile than Dovbyk, hungrier than Dovbyk, more technical than Dovbyk. But not only that, now you have a striker who is already emotionally extremely fragile, who now needs to play at least for the next 5 months, not only with an emotional fragility characteristic, but also knowing that the manager doesn't like him and that he's been publicly discharged again right now in this transfer session. But if that's fine, that's fine. If they think it's fine, they think it's fine. I see no improvements whatsoever for Dovbyk. Again, I would love to be wrong, but I hope in a tactical improvement from the guy in every game he plays. Instead of improving, he gets worse. Let's see if there's any last minute news, but there won't be any last minute news, so there's no point in even scrolling. No. 14 minutes to go. Nothing will happen. Like, nothing will happen. I've got no expectations in these last 14 minutes. It's impossible. Like, we won't even manage to register them in case we sign them. We're going into the season without a left winger, and we expect a top 4 in Europa League. Like, every club made at least a transfer. We can't even get a deal done for Piscina. Well, no, the reason we didn't... hang on, there's a mosquito. I want to try and kill it. The reason we didn't go for Piscina is because the Piscina signing was directly linked with Baldanzi, and like, to be honest with you, thank God we didn't make it happen, because now that we're not signing anyone up front in that left winger position, we will need Baldanzi a bit more. Which, again, people will go, oh, you signed Bailey, and I go, yes, okay, fine, we did sign Bailey, but Bailey's left-footed. We've got literally 4 left-footed players and 1 right-footed, and that player is El Shaarawy. Yes, Bailey can play on the other side, but he still remains left-footed. It's not like if he plays on the other side, he automatically turns right-footed. No. So, yeah, I mean, we have El Shaarawy, but as I said previously, starting El Shaarawy in 2025 is diabolical, because El Shaarawy is past it. But look, in defense of Masada, I will say one thing. In defense of Masada, I will say one thing. I think Masada did good things, but also did bad things, and these bad things aren't necessarily... The thing which I criticize is the timings, as I said before, because the timings were completely random. Chasing players as if they were the best player in the world and trying to sign him. That is what the problem is, in my opinion. In defense of Masada, I'll say one thing, which I think roots down to a bigger problem. And a problem which roots down belower than Masada is the fact that we changed sporting director like 4 days before the transfer window started. So Ghisolfi resigned 4 days before the start of the transfer session, something like that. And it took us a week to get Masada in, accommodate Masada, get Masada used to it. So Masada started signing players 1 week into the transfer session. And that's already another week wasted, which I'm not saying we would have changed the team, but add another week now, we would have probably signed 1, maybe 2 players. So that's another problem which roots deeper than just... Look, I still think Ghisolfi was worse, because I think at least with Masada and Gasperini there's this projectile sense. At least there's a reason behind the signings that we had. At least there's a... Yeah, at least there's a common like pattern in the players that we signed. There's a common line that we're following. But timings were terrible, and the first thing we said when analyzing a potential Gasperini being our new manager video, the first thing I said is, if you can't back him, don't appoint him. That's the first thing I said. If you can't back this man, you might as well not appoint him. I'm not saying he wasn't backed, but he needed better backings. Also because I'm not sure that all of the players that we signed were players that Gasperini asked for. That's something that we will know in a bit. We will know at least in a few months. But I do have this question mark of whether all the signings that we completed were Gasperini signings. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I want to know if all of the signings that we completed have been personal requests by Gasperini, because if you can't back this man and if you can't let him choose the players, which then there really is no point in backing him. And the annoying thing here is, again, we always have the January transfer session, and probably final judgments can be postponed to then. But the only annoying thing is that for once, we're building a solid foundation. For once, I can see the direction of where this football club wants to go. For once, I'm seeing a strong kind of support behind the manager. For once, I can see a manager who gives a sense to this project, who knows what to do. Also, the fact that we started well with 2 wins after 2, and then you can't give him the team that he wants. That's the annoying thing. The annoying thing is also the fact that I'm trying to see where this club wants to go, but no, you can't give him a starting left winger, which is the position that he asked the most. Like, it just makes me want to get this microphone and crush it, because I can see this wanting and this willingness and wantingness to try and stop being mediocre, but then you can't complete a team and give it to Gasperini. That's the annoying thing. Yeah, look. Sancho isn't on Massara, that's on Gasp, who made us waste time and only want Sancho. Massara was just trying to get who his coach wanted. But yeah, okay, but that is also the role of the sporting director. Like, the role is also that. I agree, like, I can agree with you. Sancho is clearly a specific request from Gasperini. But that is also where the sporting director needs to go. We tried. We've been following for almost 2 weeks now. Instead of wasting another week, change, because this guy isn't changing his idea, and that is also what I blame. Like, this wantingness to give the manager things that he so desperately asks for, and then not actually not giving him anything, because the trap there was that all of this frenzy of wanting to give him the player that he desperately wants ended up with you signing nobody. So that's also where the sporting director needs to go. It's time to change objective. It's time to ask somebody else and then try to sign somebody else. Baldanzi was supposed to go to Verona, but Massara decided to keep him for his squad. Oh, thank God! Imagine we didn't sign anyone and let Baldanzi go. Like, Gasperini would have, I'm not joking, would have hanged himself. At least we've stopped that transfer. Imagine not signing anyone and letting Baldanzi go. What are we? Like the ultimate shithousery? I don't mind Dybala playing on the left. He looked comfortable there last game. I mean, one of the signings that I'm looking forward to see is Tsimikas. Let's see what Pellegrini does with Gasperini. We need to stay positive. Market was bad, but still we were better than last year. We will make it until the winter break. Yeah, we have to keep the positivity going. That's for sure. And at the end of the day, look, these are all things that we can't control. We can only support the team, and that's what we will do. But you know, I'd expected something bigger. Not bigger, but something more complete. That's the criticism from my side, is that. Anyways, it's gone. Transfer session is gone. No need to reminisce on it. No need to criticize it. No longer. It's done. Did I expect a bit more? Yes. But we have to fight like this. And Forza Roma sempre, I guess. Right, guys, I'm going to catch you tomorrow. Hit the like, subscribe. Let me know down below your thoughts on this transfer session as a whole. I'm going to do maybe tomorrow or one of these days. I want to like relook at this transfer session and properly analyze signing by signing. So yeah, we'll do that. And yeah. Right, love you all. Hit the like, subscribe, and I'll catch you soon. Simo out. Oh, Lucas Bjordi, thank you very much for the super chat. Thank God, I was about to miss it. I agree with you on this transfer window, but I'm still optimistic. Ferguson looks good and Dovbyk isn't the worst second striker. Would have liked the left winger and a midfielder though. Keep up the good work. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I agree. We have to keep the positivity going. We have to. We've got no other choice. Positivity, international break, and then we're back going. Thank you for the super chat, mate. Thank you very much. Forza Roma sempre. Bring it on. Simo out.